Morning time, and we're singing a song that we made up on the spot. And we're celebrating a love morning. And if you are here, you're not in a bad place at all. Because we're together now. And whether you're short or tall, we're gonna share gratitude. We're gonna share gratitude. Share gratitude. Good morning. Welcome. Yeah, looks like it's working. We're live here on Facebook and YouTube. Hi, hello, welcome. If you're here, say hello. It would be so nice to know you're here. Sharing this love morning. This is a daily practice. Most every day. I'm technically on staycation right now, so I've not put my feet to the fire and forced myself to do love mornings, but I like to. It is a beautiful way for me to stay in gratitude, just like gratitude circles in Zoom at noon and 6 every day. I welcome you. If you are thinking that maybe you could be a little happier, science wouldn't lie. And science says you should be more grateful. Hopefully my audio is working. Hopefully that you are here. Yay! Gerbot is here. Razorblade is here. Good morning. All together now. You said it, Gerbot. Oh, Gerbot is grateful for new technology that's allowing me to organize my digital life. Ooh. What new tech? Do tell. I am grateful for. I've got a couple of videos that I'm almost done with. I'm not used to spending more than, too much time editing videos, but I've been thinking lately that it'd be nice to release some fewer, higher quality rather than more and more and more and more. Because, I look at I just think I've saturated the web a little much. So I think I've got one that's coming with my 4 favorite and 1 least favorite Burning Man pranks against me. I'm going to redo a Halloween one and put that up today. Yeah. So grateful for that. I'm grateful, you can't see it, but last night we picked up it's a replacement plant stand. So I've got this monster Z plant back there, and it takes up like half a room, and it needs to be high because if it's low, it literally takes the whole room. But if it's high, you can it spreads out, and you can still use parts of the room. Like we have like a yoga studio underneath it. So I had a table on top of a table in the corner of the room, which was pretty precarious. And Lisa, in her quest to slowly evolve our living space, she found on OfferUp a table that you sit at with stools. So it's a high table, and it works awesome as a high plant table. And I'm super stoked. It just makes the whole place look nicer. I mean, as I told her last night, I'm like, she keeps chipping away and like removing the furniture that she thinks fits the least well in the space. And I'm like, the double table was like the most dorm roomy thing in here. So I'm really glad that she has taken the classy level up. So I'm grateful for Lisa, grateful for the new table. Hey, yo dog, I heard you like tables. Here's a table on your table. Oh, good morning. If you're here live, say hello and share some gratitude so we can feel that we are connected in this world. I'm grateful I'm wearing, it's cool enough that I can wear my light hoodie. This is my Grandpa Caleb hoodie. It says it's a beautiful glass on the back. I'm not sure if that will focus or not, but hopefully. Oh, and then it says it's made for hugging too. It's got love more fear. Oh, yeah. I feel like there's something. Oh, that's a leaf that's in the screen there. That's the problem. Gotta move that. The leaf. Okay. Good morning, Brenda. And I'm also grateful that yesterday, part of our staycation, I took Lisa on a long afternoon adventure date. Took her to one of my favorite places in San Diego, which is the Glider Port and Black's Beach. So we went and checked out the view and hiked down to Black's Beach and along the beach. And it was beautiful. And it's a little later in the year, so even with the sun, it was still kind of cool. It was a cool breeze, which is nice because if you've ever been to Black's Beach, it is quite a steep hike down the cliffs. It is a even more steep hike up. In a blazing hot summer day, it's kind of rough to get to the top of the hike and then wish you could jump in the water, which you can no longer jump in the water because now the water's down there and you are up in the parking. But because of the cool air, it wasn't so bad, and we went out to dinner afterwards, and it was lovely. Good morning, Brent. Good morning, Adrian. Adrian says, I remember when you did videos with Grandpa Caleb. Yeah, that was 2005, 2006, 2007. Not very recently. But I am grateful that I get to bring Grandpa Caleb into my awareness on a daily basis. I'm also grateful that I've got a new camera that I'm going to try out today. Although I am starting to really like the way that this camera looks with the bokeh effect blurring in the background, with this lens. Now because of the prime lens I'm using, my camera is quite a ways away and I'm not using this room very well, but I do like the way it looks. So who knows how this will go. Brenda says, I went to Black's Beach in the 70s. I was young and I remember the hike. Yeah, Black's Beach is iconic. It's also our nude beach. It's hard to get to, so it was, I got to see some penises yesterday. I'm a big believer in the benefit of seeing non-model naked bodies as a kid and growing up. Man, as that came out of my mouth, I was like, be careful. Are you going to get in trouble for saying that children should see naked people? Isn't that ridiculous? I didn't say you should see people having sex. I didn't say anything sexual. You just see naked people. The fact that we consider that to be potentially dangerous or wrong, that a nude body, a naked body could be damaging to a human being is like so insane. And in fact, what's damaging is when the only naked bodies that a child sees is those that are in magazines and all glossy. And so all we learn to do is hate our bodies in the form that they're in, which is never going to be at a level of an airbrushed magazine with perfect lighting and angles and looking through hundreds of shots to take the one that looks the best. So I think that trips to a naked nude beach are beautiful outings for children so they can see what real bodies look like. The sagging, the jangle, the dangle, the flippy flappy. So if that makes me a menace, if that makes me a danger to children, well then call me a danger, because I think creating a taboo against the human body is way more harmful. Hello, Jen in Calgary. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, Carlene. Carlene says, I'm grateful the aspens are showing their beauty. Oh, aspens are the best, aren't they? Carlene continues, grateful for feeling good today, not much pain. I walked my desert path this AM with Ginger, my fur baby, and coyotes were yipping and barking. Amazing. Aspens, I think aspens are like the largest organism in the world, I believe, because an aspen forest is a single organism. Isn't that mind-blowing? Kind of like how mushrooms, the mycelium and the fruiting bodies of an organism, a mycelium beneath the ground. Aspen trees are all connected through a single organism. And they're so pretty with the white bark and the whispering leaves and the way they change color. I should make a point to get a aspen visit in my next year. Don't have a lot of aspens in San Diego. But I do remember a beautiful hike when I was around the Grand Tetons, my friend Mike, and he took us through some beautiful hikes where there was aspen forests, and I remember that being really incredible. And I remember growing up in Colorado, lots of hikes through aspen. Good morning. Happy day. Hope you are feeling grateful. You know, I had a thought. Dangerous, right? Would love to hear what you're grateful for. Luna, good morning. Luna says, it's rainy here in Ohio, making all the colors brighter. Yay for a rinse. So yesterday morning, I'm blanking on who said it, but somebody was from Maine, and they brought up yesterday, somebody during our morning gathering of gratitude, they brought up and let me know that there was another mass shooting in Maine. And I had this moment of like distress. Not because of the mass shooting, not because of the horror, not because of the suffering and the deaths and the grief associated with it, but in the consistency and the relentlessness of this type of news. Just, earlier that morning and the day before, I had been in conversations online about the terrorist actions and retaliation in Israel. And just feeling like it requires so much discipline and a moral kind of navigating to figure out how much you can invest. Like clearly every event of death and suffering is deserving of compassion, and yet we are unequipped to provide our hearts to that degree. Think about the history of humanity and the access to suffering or news of suffering compared to now. With the internet, we are able to be aware of all the oppression and all the suffering in the world. Okay, not all, but massive amounts of injustice and suffering and pain and death. And so the news every day can be a legitimate reason for overwhelm. And it just goes on and on and on. And so I think that we need to be really careful about feeling obligated to feel everything. We're just not wired for it. If 100 years ago, you would know about the oppression in your town, you would know about the suffering in your family and your friends, you would know about the horrible things that happened in the accidents, around where you lived. But that's it. And you would need to process that stuff. You would need to grieve those things. You would need to address those conflicts. And the brain is just not wired to be aware of that many people and that many conflicts and that much injustice and suffering and oppression. I believe that is a huge cause of the epidemic of mental health. Our brains do not have a set point that allows us to be compassionate and make space for the degree of suffering in the world. So how do we not close our hearts, not shut out the world, and not collapse under the weight of it all? I don't know the answer to that. But I think we each need to find a way and give each other permission to practice self-care in there. Self-care and gratitude, no matter what. I think there can be a tendency to feel like it's irresponsible or selfish to practice self-care and gratitude when there's so much suffering. That was one of the feelings I had when the woman let me know yesterday there was another mass shooting. It's like, am I being insensitive if I allow myself to be in a positive headspace to talk about optimism and gratitude? Or because there is this thing that happened in the world at this today, is it the right thing to do to focus on grief? And I think that we need to recognize that everyone is doing the best they can. And so there might be something that gets us totally fired up and activated. And it might feel, you might even have anger that someone else is not as upset as you. I see that happening around, recent stuff with Israel and Palestine. And, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you say more? Why haven't you spoken up? And I think we need to allow people to protect their humanness and to process as they see fit. And that it is not an indication of a lack of compassion or a lack of care to have to not speak out, to not take a stand, especially in an issue that no matter what you say, you will have an opposing voice very ready to come at you with some aggression. It takes energy. It takes a privilege of energy and support and anchoring to really take a stand on things that are difficult. I can remember, when before Trump was elected, when that became a possibility, I really decided, okay, I am going to take a stand and speak out. And every time before I would make a post that was, in the political landscape, saying this is a dangerous place, that the future of our democracy is going to have negative effects because of this human being, not pro-Republican, anti-Republican, just like, politics aside, I'm pro-democracy, and this is going to be a danger to it because of Supreme Court justices and things like that. So every time I decided I was going to post something, I had to know and tell myself, I'm going to have a multi-day spiritual tax. This is going to be challenging. I'm going to be overwhelmed. My energy is going to be just depleted because of this. And knowingly go, okay, I'm going to invest my energy into this, even though the chance of it mattering is small, but maybe there's somebody who's undecided, or maybe there's somebody that says, well, I can't vote for Hillary. And I'm like, I get that. However, or someone that might say, I just want to destroy the whole system and burn it down. I'm like, okay, well, I understand that idea, but look to history and see what happens when systems collapse. You know who takes over? Not the love and light people, the regimes with power and cruelty. So think these things through. So these are the things that I was like, okay, I feel like I care enough that I'm willing to take this on, and I have the capacity. I didn't have the capacity every day, but when I did, I would speak. And I think that has to be where you go to. Do I have the capacity? And then I'm going to spend my energy in the direction of causes that matter to me. And when you're in that place and you've made that choice, this is what I care about, have forgiveness, compassion, and understanding to the people who in that moment do not have the energy to take a stand with you. Because we can't fight all day, every day, and still be effective and still maintain our connection to our spirits. And somewhere in this insane human experience of this time in history, we have to figure out how to live in this world and nourish our hearts, to enjoy our lives and make the world brighter by the way we live in it. And we got to forgive ourselves and forgive others as we stumble in those ways, in those paths. We're doing the best we can. We all are. So, with that, I extend my deepest compassion for anyone who is hurting, feeling grief right now, anyone who's feeling injustice or oppression right now, anyone who's feeling like their voice is not being heard right now, and acknowledge that all of these things are part of our human journey. And whether my sentiments today are connecting to you or not, or whether you feel like you're being heard or not, that we are all connected. And when we are all feeling one another's pain and hopefully feeling the strength of one another when we need it. Thank you. I love you. Good morning. All one, says Gerbot. Good morning, Danielle. Good morning, Neck. Good morning, Mingle. I started that idea, I was a little scared about, but I think it came, the way it felt like it came out the way I wanted to hear it, or I needed to hear it myself. So hopefully that was helpful. Next says, people need to learn to love each other and watch out for people who need help. Yes. And I think that's part of, this kind of ongoing practice of being honest about our feelings and our struggles, so that we can be available to help, and that we can ask for help and see that people need help. When everyone is pretending that we're all good, there is no room for helping or being helped. I'm certainly guilty of that. I do not like to make myself open for assistance. I'm working on it. This is Love Morning. If you have got something you're grateful for, I would love to hear it. Have anything else that is on your mind that you want to share with the group here? We are live on Facebook and YouTube and archived them both as well. Jen says, I feel like this is a safe space. Thank you. I agree. I hope so. Anybody watching Our Flag Means Death? Oh, such a good show. It took me a while to get into it the first season, but man, it's so good. It's about pirates and trauma and humor and love. And there's a time when a pirate is saying, he's trying to say that this is a safe space. And he goes, this is a spaceship. Safe space. He goes, it's a safe spaceship. Jen says, I'm grateful for a good night of sleep, feeling more in charge of my emotions and less like my emotions are ruling me. Ooh, that's what a nice way to feel. And also, we were talking yesterday, I believe, about how sometimes the hardest thing to do is to not judge what you are experiencing. So that feeling of like your emotions ruling you it's like you want it to stop, and yet you don't want to make it worse by judging or feeling something negative about the experience you're having. Sometimes you got to like let it happen and feel it. I was in a conversation yesterday with Lisa about expressing anger and our experiences in our past relationships of, did we have partners that express anger and in healthy ways, or because some people, they go inward. I tend to be more of a, if I'm being activated, I don't yell. I tend to go inward. And I don't have experience or skills in expressing anger in a healthy way. If I am angry and yelling, I am a little out of control or a lot out of control. And I'm accessing and grabbing for weapons and trying to hurt. And so I try not to, I'm scared of being angry. I feel like I can't trust myself in that place, which is, a limiting way to live. Anger is not bad in and of itself. Hello, John. Good morning. Jen says, I hope next year's theme at Burning Man is pirates themed. That would be interesting, because I think I don't know if this is sad or not, but I have a feeling that if pirates was brought up, there would be tons of backlash about the politically incorrect nature of pirates and the violence and whatever about piracy and so I think that is going to have to be a theme camp theme, not an event theme. I think Burning Man right now is a little bruised and sensitive about not appearing woke enough, as evidenced by them being attacked for their statement not being enough. Gerbot says 2002 was a kind of a pirate year. You mean 2020 or 2021? The Renegade year was kind of a pirate year. What was the theme of 2002? Hey, Juan. Juan says, I'm grateful for Hug Nation. Me? Thanks, Juan. Well, we're about half past and the time to have a little hug and go off into our days and hopefully be energized by this and go into our days with the knowledge of love ambassadors. And again, in the capacity that we've got. Some days all you got enough to do is to, keep yourself going. And some days you're full of this beautiful gratitude and optimism, and it's easier to just, as you go through the day, say hello and good morning and spread it around the world in a Santa Claus kind of way. Ho, ho, ho. Gerbot says the 2002 theme was floating world. That's what they would need to do instead of pirates. They would say floating world and then allow for pirate ships and booty. Booty. I said booty. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate the safe space for me to share some ideas and thoughts. I did have an interesting thing where, was it yesterday, 2 days ago, that I spoke about Burning Man's statement about Israel and I defended them. And I had written, before I did it, I had the description of the morning broadcast about this. I'm going to talk about that. And then I also posted on Facebook an essay about it. And someone said, do you really want to be talking about that for the few days? Because people are activated. You're going to be in angry conversations for the next few days related to what I was talking about earlier. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And so I took down my post and I changed the title of the Love Morning to remove all reference to Israel. But someone did, I guess, either heard that I talked about it or went and listened to it and found it. So I still have someone's comment that I have yet to give the energy that I think it deserves, because they put a lot of thought into their response to me. And I'm in this place now, which is like, okay, how much self-care versus how much do I feel like I owe this person a response? How much do I want to invest my energy into this conversation, this topic, this issue, and the nuances of it? Am I defending myself? Am I trying to make a point? Is there a benefit? I mean, I think what I will do is send this person a private note and just say, hey, definitely appreciate your thoughts, and I have read them and listened to them, and I'm not available for a public debate right now or discussion because of my energy levels, something like that. Danielle says, as someone who is comfortable being in all of my emotions and expressing anger, I have a few rules that are useful. All right. When I fight, I say I'm angry and I swear like a sailor, but I do not fling shit, call people names, or fight dirty. And I ask that in my friendships and partners. That's good. That way it's a safe space to feel the anger and express it. That's a good thing for me to work on. My thought, my concern for myself is that when I'm in the red, if I'm angry, I am in a dysregulated state generally. And if I'm dysregulated, I'm in my reptilian brain and I am not subject to the same guidelines of decency that I would normally hold to myself, like your rules. So it would be much easier for me to slip into a shit slinging when I am dysregulated because I don't care about being the best version of myself or following rules. But I'm going to chew on that. So thank you for that, Danielle. And Zoe closing us out with happy Friday, beautiful love ambassadors. I'm grateful today to simply be walking and talking, never taking my able body for granted again. What a beautiful way for us to close. So wherever you are, give yourself a big squeeze and appreciate this body, whether it walks or not. But whatever it is able to do, let's be grateful for that. All these functioning systems of self-healing and processing and amazing interconnected systems that connect us to the world around us and bring us sensations and feelings. Whew! And let's be grateful for all the people that have connected in this moment, all the shared gratitude, all the recognition of safe spaces and support, and the forgiveness for ourselves and others as we take a deep breath in. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and you, thanks for being here for the Hug Nation Love Morning every day at 9 a.m. And then some Zoom gatherings at noon, 6, and 3 in the morning. And I hope you're following me on Instagram because I got a few videos to drop there later. Instagram, I am Halcyon Pink. Come on. Follow me on Instagram. I love you. Thank you. Happy Friday.